Tim Hortons NHL trading cards are back. And listen, I just opened a pack. I got Lucas Raymond. I got Rasmus Dahlin, a monumental moments card talking about dishing out 2 helpers in Buffalo's 5-1 win over the Ottawa Senators, which is always great. We love seeing an Ottawa
going last.
And Mark Scheifele, potential Olympian.
That's a great flipping card, Adam. Also, when you open a pack of cards, you have to sniff inside the pack. There's nothing better smelling, other than maybe Tim Hortons coffee, than the inside of a pack of hockey cards. We got Owen Tippett of the Philadelphia Flyers. We have above the ice, John Tavares. It's sparkly. It's John Tavares. I'm giving that to my son.
Oh, that's a good card.
It's Tim Stützle.
Did it fall over? I didn't even see what happened.
It did. It was a trip. It was a trip, but
Yeah.
Oh,
Jesse?
no.
Jesse?
Sens fans aren't going to be happy with that one. Brock Besser, Rasmus Dahlin.
Oh, we got 2.
Oh, we got 2 Dahlins.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think the best player amongst all of these cards, Cale Makar.
Oh, Cale Makar.
I got a True North Heroes Cale Makar card.
There you go. Now grab a pack today. Visit your local Tim Hortons or download the Tim's app. And if you happen to end up with a Colorado Avalanche player, don't be surprised if producer Drew shows up at your house and tries to steal it. Start collecting Tim Hortons NHL hockey trading cards today. Let's start the show.
SDPP, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go! Big show today. Kevin McGran is joining us to talk about his book, Auston Matthews, A Life in Hockey. This is going to be a really fun interview. We've never had Kevin on. It was long overdue.
Remember when I was like, we're going to have Kevin on for 15 minutes?
Yeah.
And it was 50?
It's going to be, you're going to love this interview. That'll be at the end of the other part of this episode, the second half, I guess, of it. To get through some things really quickly, because we are on a bit of a time crunch, Easter Seals, the link works now, and I'm starting to get donations too.
The link's always worked in these episodes.
Oh.
Wow. I guess I just gave Drew the wrong link. I don't know. But thank you, because everyone's donating now. Rachel's Raiders is now over 10,000, and the tournament is over 78,000.
Wow,
so let's keep cooking. Rachel's Raiders goal is 50K, and the tournament's goal, I believe, is 500K. So let's cook.
Great. And speaking of, we've got a live show tomorrow. The Rec Room at Roundhouse, downtown Toronto. And it's hilarious because Seattle is in town. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Seattle and Toronto are facing off in another notable series. So a lot of Seattle, Toronto.
Are the Supersonics back?
Yeah, no, they're not. Not yet. They will be in a couple years. But yeah, lots of Seattle, Toronto happening
I did not make that connection.
Yeah, and the Jays are not playing. So the Jays will play tonight, and then the Leafs in Seattle will play, and then the Jays. And so if the Leafs beat Seattle, that counts towards the Jays series. I think that's how it works.
Yes.
Just wanted to
if the Kraken win, it doesn't.
What's the Kraken schedule? Because would they stick around? No, they play the Flyers in Philly on Monday. I was like, maybe the Kraken team can like stick around and cheer on their other team.
It would be cool.
Seattle, but they can't.
I guess they got to get Kraken.
I got
Kraken news
over
for
to
you.
Philly.
They ain't cheering on the Mariners.
Why not?
A team full of Canadians? Stop it.
Hey,
stop
listen,
it.
Steve, you missed the big Vancouver kerfuffle.
Oh, I know.
Because there's a lot of Vancouver fans who are like, hey, you didn't cheer for us in 2011, so why would we cheer for you? And I was like, hey, wait a second.
Because there's
2011.
Where is this argument happening at?
It was a huge thing in Vancouver Canucks, like media and Twitter, this past weekend.
A huge thing.
It was huge. I'm not kidding. It was huge. And it was I was watching it going, wow. I think it started with Don Taylor from Donnie and Dolly and went from there. So a lot of Vancouver Mariners fans going, why would we cheer for stupid Toronto? Fair enough. But don't blame it on us not cheering for the Vancouver Canucks in the 2011 Stanley Cup, which, by the way, you think people from the East want to cheer for Boston? Are you out of your mind? Come on.
Yeah, this was before all the Game 7 stuff.
Yeah, but I still hate Boston. Are you kidding me?
Well, I just, with Canucks pockets of hockey Twitter, I've always found it very amusing that for years and years and years, they've been like, go fuck yourself to absolutely everyone. And then they're like, they hate us because they ain't us. It's got nothing to do with our general demeanor towards anyone who's not us.
I've never in my life hated a Vancouver team. In fact, when the Leafs were bad, you know who was great? The Canucks. They were fun to watch.
The Canucks won the President's Trophy like We're not cheering for Goliath. No one's.
No, you should. Cheer for the big guy.
The reason I ask where this thing was happening, because sometimes these arguments happen and they don't happen with anybody outside of their cell phone. You
Right.
know?
They're not based in
No,
reality.
it was definitely content.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It was content. Now, let's talk a little bit about, I just need to talk about the fact that the Jays friggin' won the game last night. And the fact that Jesse is here and able to speak is it's a miracle, because there were some moments where his voice, I told you, when he screams, it's like a buzzsaw.
He's got the deep
Yeah.
sexies going on, though.
I don't have that range, but I try.
Yeah. It was
My
great.
vocal cords crap out.
And I think it's important to start with this, okay? Because this relates to hockey. I know we're a hockey podcast, but I just want to give you Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s stats so far this offseason. And this is from the MLB account, so you don't even have to question me on it, okay? He is 15 for 33. That's a .455 average.
Good Lord.
He has 5 home runs.
Amazing.
He has 11 RBIs,
Wow.
and his OPS is a 1.47. Now, a good OPS is what, Jesse? Like if you throughout a regular season.
Yeah, no, that's like when you get into the when you put in the 1 in front of it, you're otherworldly.
You're
Just the
elite.
one.
Yeah.
If you get to a single one,
Yeah.
He's at like
you're
1.5.
doing great.
he's at a 1.5. Yeah. So here's what I want to impart to our audience. Just a reminder specifically to Leaf fans, myself included, who have made excuses for players so many times. When you're in the playoffs, your best players need to be your best players every night for you to win. And when Vladdy wasn't hitting in the first 2 games of this series, what was happening?
They were not winning.
Mm-hmm.
And what's happened since he started hitting?
They have won.
And what happened in the Yankee series when he hit?
They won.
I just want to throw that out there. Instead of blaming the backup goalie or blaming third line guy who gave puck away, and believe me, I've been the guy. I've done it.
Yeah.
Best guys need to be best at hardest time of year.
You need a little bit of everything. You know, Jimenez. Friggin'
That's the number 9 hitter.
Yeah,
Back-to-back games with 2-run shots.
home runs in back-to-back games. Has he ever done that professionally? Like ever? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, Barger with a couple, you know, he struggled to hit sometimes, but he's made a couple great catches. You need all those things, but if you don't get the big guys swinging the bat the way they are, do you win?
Right.
Exactly.
And I just, again, want to make it about the Leafs because that's what it's always about.
Kerfoot gets 6 points in 7 games against the Habs. He does better than anyone could possibly expect. Spezza gets 3 goals in that series. It's better than anyone could expect. Big guys don't show up. You die.
Yep.
That's how it works.
Now, I want to just quickly mention Max Scherzer because it's also important to have complete psychos on your team. We've all, by this point, I mean, the game's in a few hours at the time of this release, so I'm not gonna dwell too much. But we've all seen the interaction between him and John Schneider, and then John Schneider after the game going, "I thought he was going to kill me. It was great."
Yeah.
But I want to read this one little blurb from Keegan Matheson, who writes for MLB.com for the Blue Jays. He's a really great reporter. He's a great writer. And here's what he said. Mad Max did not earn his name by accident, nor has he grown any less mad. In the hour leading up to first pitch, he paced the outfield frantically and without pattern. He'd jog in a loop, then he'd stretch his neck. He'd sprint 100 feet and then throw a few invisible pitches. By the time Scherzer made it to the bullpen, he was arguing with ghosts. One pitch, he'd be flailing his arms out to the side, upset with a ball with a make-believe batter that the batter watched sail by. Again, make-believe. The next pitch, he'd be pleased, then fire a pistol with the tip of his finger towards the catcher and blow the smoke. Third base coach Carlos Fabulous and pitching coach Pete Walker were both narrowly mowed down by Scherzer in the dugout at different points of the game as he stormed back and forth. For all they know, they may have just been baby blue blurs in Scherzer's vision. This man is psychotic.
41-year-old man. 41-year-old man with that kind of fire in his belly. I hope he never retires. I don't want to know Mad Max in retirement. What the fuck?
What's he going to do with that rage? Yeah.
Yeah. That's got to go somewhere. That's, oh my God.
That pick goes so hard.
Oh my God. If they end up doing the thing, we're getting that in the office. You know that, right?
Yeah.
We're getting that
I think
in
we
the
might
office.
need to get it anyway.
We might need to get it anyway. Oh my God.
Now, this is the thing that I think other teams, and listen, the Jays have not won anything. They've not won anything. They've tied the series. That's great. But I have seen time and time again in hockey that the team with psychos, and perhaps the team with the most psychos, tends to win.
You need psychos.
You need psychos. Again, best players need to show up. You need psychos.
You need psychos, and you need them to stay in the game. Because I can already hear people going, well, you ran Kadri out of town. Well,
No, Kadri ran Kadri out of town.
yes, he did.
Yeah.
And also, he ran Kadri out of town via going through the opponent's brain.
Yes.
On several occasions. Having these people in your lineup is the shit. You need it. You need it. You need it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Psychos are okay.
Steve, does that picture remind you of any particular Leafs picture?
Screaming at the coach. No. It
Are you sure nothing jogs your memory here?
Screaming at the coach.
Jesse,
I know
what do
you're
you
gonna
got?
say.
for me?
I know
What do
what
you-
you're going to say.
What do you- here, do I need my glasses?
No, Maddie.
Oh.
I pulled up Radko Gudas yelling in Joseph Woll's face.
This and the Bennett stuff and
What was happening here? I believe the Leafs, were they winning?
the Florida Panthers were celebrating ending the Leaf season on an ill-gotten goal that should have been a penalty because they were holding Kelly Yarncroke's stick, which last time I checked you're not allowed to do unless Colin Campbell's son works for your team.
Yeah, you want to know why Tampa's fines were so high.
Oh yeah. Well, they hurt Colin Campbell's son's team.
You're never wrong for bringing that up because those emails exist.
No.
Like-
I'll forever be salty about
Like
that. I don't give a shit.
those are legal documents that exist that they were tampering with the way the rules are doled out to specialize for certain people that they like and they don't like.
Who's that X-Man who can like slow down time? Quicksilver?
I don't know.
Or like the flat. You ever see those things where, like I think in the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, he's able to slow down time.
Okay.
My son watches it. If I could do that and I knew I wouldn't get caught, one of the first things I would do is go down to the Hockey Hall of Fame with a jackhammer and remove Colin Campbell forever. And put up, I don't know, maybe a picture of Aaron Rome in its place.
When you're talking about psychos, Adam, I think like the first thing I think about with you relate that to hockey is the Florida Panthers.
Yes,
they have
of
the
course.
most psychos. They are psychotic. It's this Radko Gudas play from the 2014 playoffs. It's Sam Bennett from the last one elbowing everybody. Who
Ivan
comes near him.
Barbashev with the friggin' Golden Knights in 22.
Oh yeah, but the Florida Panthers I think are the peak psychos right now.
How about the Blues 2019 running someone from behind? I don't even remember who it was. And scoring the game-winning goal, and they go on to win the cup, and who wasn't there anymore?
Yeah,
Gregory Campbell was not there anymore. You're not getting that call.
Jesse, the on a roster, in a dress lineup, the psychos per 18.
I think you go through that lineup. Everybody out there is willing to do the things that it takes to win in the NHL and win the Stanley Cup.
The amount of people that I saw celebrating, and this is crazy, I know, not Toronto people, like other markets who have not played Florida in the playoffs, celebrating or being like good when Dmitry Kulikov went down.
Uh-oh.
I'm like, it's Dmitry Kulikov.
No apologies.
No apologies.
But even a guy
apologize to no one.
on the surface level, you don't think of Aaron Ekblad as that player.
No,
But then it's like steroid McGee's coming out and he's going to elbow people, So everybody in that lineup has that in them.
When you talk about, DNA change has been a big topic here. Prison rules, Paul Maurice. They had Joel Quenneville. We'll never know how that would have gone because he was there for like 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
We'll never know how that would have gone. Obviously, he won cups. Andrew Brunette to Paul Maurice.
crazy.
They won the President's Trophy with Andrew Brunette.
Mm-hmm.
They've gone to the Stanley Cup Final every year. Paul Maurice has been their head coach because he's prison rules Paul.
He's crazy old Maurice.
I don't think you can be more right about that assessment of where that mentality comes from because Paul Maurice, like fart sniffing Paul, like everything that he is, that is his team.
Yep.
And the reason they play like that is because from the head coach down, and he's a master at this thing. And there's a reason they got back-to-back cups.
Yeah. The Jets weren't good enough. They didn't get enough saves while he was there. And that was something that followed Paul Maurice around for a lot of his career. What was he their head coach during Pavel Electricity? I think. The talent there, the goaltending there, and the fuck you there.
That was a great team.
If this is a copycat league, literally copy the Cats. Copy the Florida Panthers, and they're the champions. They're the current standard, and whatever happens to them, happens. That's how I look at it. If their guys get hurt, what am I supposed to do? Feel bad? Fuck you also. Fuck you too.
Yeah. And what Paul Maurice always in the media throughout that entire both playoff runs, all he's talking about is the great group of guys they have and how everybody's such a team. And I feel like that's an underrated part of this thing.
Yeah.
They love each other and they hate everybody else.
Yes.
You know, they're all in it for themselves and they don't care who's trying to get in their way because they're for the next guy next to them on the bench.
There shouldn't have been a handshake line that night.
Everybody just
It should have just been a team brawl.
Actually, yeah. Paul Maurice agrees, actually.
Yeah. No, like you screamed in our rookie goalie's face. We should have all just taken turns beating the shit out of each other. But
oh, you mean like the Leafs this night?
Yeah, no, that because
this night.
It's not. You guys can't see it now, but it's been on Jesse's screen the whole time, and it's just making me.
You can throw it up. Yeah,
I'm relating to Max Scherzer more and more the more I look at this photo. One of my eyes is currently turning brown. That's how friggin' I hate this photo. I hate this fucking
All right,
photo.
so this is the one we got to put up in the
Radko
office.
immediately left went to a nice market where there's no
fans.
No fans.
Yeah.
According to Radko. I happen to be a Ducks booster this year because I think they're good. But
this should be Austin's cell phone background, you know?
Yeah.
If you want somebody to get motivated, like the way you're sitting here getting frustrated at this thing, he needs to be reminded, like, this is what can be done to you at the NHL.
You know what also happened in that series, Jesse, that I think could be somebody's phone background? That's the first time that I saw Sam Bennett torpedo somebody's entire playoffs, and what he did to Matt Nyes.
Yep.
If you go back and you look at that play and you freeze frame it, it's violent.
Yeah.
And Matt was killer in that series, and once he was out, Leafs didn't stand a chance. It was like he was one of their bright spots.
I don't want the Leafs to try to win their first game against the Panthers.
Just killed the Panthers.
Yeah.
7-game series, you can yield one.
Go straight to the net, no puck. I don't give a shit.
All right,
I apologize to no one. Follow the leader.
Well,
Let's go.
mean, you're going to get you might get a big monetary fine from Mr. Colton Campbell.
Man,
Farrell's
who fucking cares? Open up a tree planting business. Pay all the players because it doesn't matter. There's no consequences for goddamn anything. Do what you got to do to
Steve,
win a
there's
cup.
no smoking gun. I'm kidding.
Thanks, Mark.
Also lost in yesterday's game, I want to say. The other thing that I wanted to highlight very quickly as we get into the Leafs and Rangers here is that communication is key. One of the things I made a joke about the Leafs having a bit of a daddy kink with Anthony Stolarz out there because he yells at them all the time.
Goddamn.
But Vladdy yelled at Max, and you don't talk to Max Scherzer on game day, but he yelled at him and said, Max, hold your glove in a different way. Hold it closer because Max likes to hold it out here because you're tipping the pitches. And what happened when he did that? The inning turned around.
Well, if Vladdy tells you, I know what's coming, you listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're nuts, but even psychos want to win.
And I thought, that is great team communication and guys being engaged in every play. Jesse, the thing, you bring up the Radko Gudas thing.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to bring up the Mitch Marner clip from the Amazon show where he's like, go and fucking hit somebody.
No.
The playoffs.
We
And I was going to be like, oh no.
We don't need to see dry hair Mitch yell at people.
Yeah.
Go and watch the Paul Marner weird CBC doc from when Mitch was 12 and let me know if there's a line in there that seems eerily familiar.
Jesse, there is a picture that I wanted you to show up. This picture goes hard. Check this out. This is Auston Matthews and William Nylander after a great give and go that won them the game. Leafs were, I think, guys, fair to say, dominant in the first two periods or really dominant in the second period you could split. Third was all Rangers. And the question, Steve, is Igor Shesterkin good? And you talked about this a little bit on your LFR last night. He's pretty good.
He is. He has a losing record. 2 wins, 3 losses. It's 2-2-1 because this was in overtime. He has a losing record with a .962 save percentage through 5 games. That's
The Rangers
I don't
will be
have
fine.
words for that.
The Rangers will be fine.
I was telling you on Wednesday, you didn't believe me. This team's going to be good. They're going to be fine. Things are going to turn around. They just need to figure out their scoring. And I think we underrate how much turnover happened with this Rangers team.
Yeah.
You got a new coach, half the roster's changed, new leadership group. They need to figure out how to play Mike Sullivan hockey and score goals, and that shooting percentage comes up because of how they're getting towards the net and the shots they're placing on. And you talked about how they're bumblefucking a lot around with the puck.
Oh,
but
man, it was bad.
Those little details, they'll figure themselves out, and they have a Vezina caliber goaltender.
Now, I just want to address something. You said scoring's the issue, right? What if you had a guy that had 52 goals and then 36 goals and then 39 goals and then he fell to only 22, but then he's got 4 goals in 4 games to start the season? What if you had that guy?
Chris Kreider didn't forget how to play hockey, huh?
His back just couldn't hold up last year.
You have to, unless you're the Sabres, bet on sports science. You have to. These guys are coming back. Man, growing up, you got the wrong injury, you were toast.
Yep.
There were so many guys, hey, whatever happened to... You got injured,
Bobby
that was
Orr.
it.
They say that Bobby Orr's injuries on his knees, he would have played 20 years if he had those injuries today. He'd be out a couple months.
Let me give you a more recent one. Jonathan Chichu.
Oh, man. Talk about a career robbed, eh?
56 goals. Now, you can be like, he was a Thornton merchant. Whatever.
You still have to score them.
Who gives a shit? Yeah, and it wasn't like he was taken off of Thornton's line. Like, he had an injury, right? The Eichel thing had never been done in the NHL. It's worked a charm. It's got a cup, and now it's been done a few times. The hip resurfacing with Patrick Kane had not worked. It's worked. You got to bet on sports science. The advancements are crazy. I this is anecdotal, but I told it before. My uncle had one of his hips replaced. It was like 15 years ago. The procedure it was like 4 to 6 hours. I can't remember. He just got one replaced within the past year. It was 45 minutes. The procedure. Like, things are changing. And Chris Kreider, like we said most of last year, did not forget how to play hockey. He was just hurt.
So here's what JT Miller had to say after the game. I want to just do a quick focus on the Rangers because they are a dichotomy, right? He said, if you're mentally weak, you're going to go off the rails because this isn't working on paper. It's about getting the look. It's not about if it goes in. We're going to keep pounding pucks at the net and outplaying teams we're playing against, and it's going to work eventually. And if you look at the advanced stats, they way outscored the Leafs in terms of scoring chances last night.
They couldn't connect on a one-timer.
They couldn't. The passing, clearly, like, they're still working. But Jesse mentioned it perfectly. And I think this is a part of the Leafs problem, too, when we get to them, is there's a lot of new blood injected into that lineup, and it takes 20 games to sort that out or more.
They're too comfortable giving up those cross-slot passes because I think they're very confident in what they can do in front of their own net. Mm-hmm. And they do a good job, right? Like, there will be rebounds and they clear it. And they clear it with poise too.
Right.
Like, they don't just go and get rid of it. That's why I was so disappointed by that Riley icing a couple of games ago against Detroit. Like, there was no need for that whatsoever. The stuff they do in front of the net all the time that I think would get you yelled at in most levels of hockey, they're able to do it because they're confident. But all the stuff just outside of that little bubble, they got to clean up. Jesse, that's a crazy graphic.
So, yeah, I just wanted to throw this up there because, Adam, you outlined briefly like how the game went. And I feel like the expected goals, the analytics back up exactly what kind of happened in the game. The expected goals at 5-on-5, all game long, it was very even. Second to third period hits, the Rangers kind of take things over, and they had the higher share of expected goals. It's right there in the third period is kind of where the jump is made. And then in overtime, it's 3-on-3, it's pond hockey. It's a coin flip.
You can't really,
so I feel like how it played out with a 1-1 game throughout the whole thing, and then they have the tiebreaker to finish it off. It's kind of what is the correct result. These two teams were very close, and the Rangers had a lot of chances. They just couldn't finish, and their little details aren't quite there yet at this point in the season. Maybe you want to criticize the coaching for not having them ready for these little details, but I'm willing to give them that leeway and just say, like, give them some time.
Hey, you just got here.
Give them 20 minutes. Got it.
If you're trying to figure out who's going to win in the playoffs, take the standings, take every overtime or shootout result, and make them a tie.
Yeah.
Make them a tie and try to work it out from there, because at least we're 10-2 in overtimes last year. You need those wins. Those wins are what got them the division. It's what got them home ice advantage, but it doesn't necessarily give you an accurate portrayal of what the team is.
They were pretty good in overtime against the Sens, too.
They were pretty good in overtime against the Sens.
I want to say Anthony Stolarz was absolutely unreal last night.
Oh,
yeah. 10 bell saves, sometimes 2-3 times in a row. I thought it was strange that when his goalie mask fell off, they didn't blow it dead. In one of those, I thought you had to do that.
I'm curious if that was a late whistle, or if there's some sort of weird language where it's like if there's an imminent scoring chance.
Continuation, I think is what they call it.
Yeah, and there was an imminent scoring chance, and he stopped it.
Yeah. Nice scores again, opening the scoring for the Leafs. He's been unreal to start the year.
Beef. Just go to the net. Willie's weird little shot pass. It's weird. It seemed too high to be a pass, too weak to be a shot. Whatever, it worked.
One of my little bugs, and I'm a big OEL Benoit guy. I actually think they're a really great top pairing when they're on the ice. Bottom pairing.
I was like,
when
what?
they're on the ice. My issue is that every game, one or both takes a penalty, except for Nashville. And last night again, Benoit takes a penalty, and you go, these, and it's not like the penalties are great penalties to take. You got beat and you got to pull a guy down or whatever. It's stick in glove bullshit. And I will be watching for the next little bit to see how many games we actually get of those two, one of those two or both not going to the box. They need to play cleaner games, because the Leafs need their other guys, their better guys, to be in positions to make things happen on the offensive side. And they need OEL for that too.
Part of Benoit's usefulness in the Leafs lineup is killing penalties.
Yes.
It's interesting, because there was that high stick, or delay a game call rather, against Detroit. Matthews goes to the box. I guess they review it and they're like, oh, it was actually Benoit. And Benoit goes to the box. And where'd the Leafs get beat? Right in front. And I'm like, you need Matthews, but like, God, that's why Benny's in the friggin' lineup. He's not going to play every game if this keeps up. OEL, 4 points in 5 games.
I know he's been great on the offensive side. I'm just begging them not to take penalties.
I am too.
Jesse?
Just on the Stolarz mask thing, because it took me a second to bring up the article, but Luke Fox's gamer from last night, his game article, was on that. The Stolarz situation and the mask, because Stolarz was very open about wanting change for that rule. So Luke wrote, play can continue against a maskless goalie in an event of an imminent scoring chance. Stolarz suggests the book could use a rewrite. Stolarz said, this is the second time it's happened. Happened to Aiden Hill the other night as well. So hopefully we can find a compromise. It's not like goalies are trying to knock our helmets off. I mean, without the buckle, you can't really see the puck. You can't really track or do anything. As soon as you move your head, it falls off. So hopefully the league can look at it and talk to some goalies or people who have knowledge of the position, and we can come to some sort of compromise where our safety isn't put at risk there. I think it's very interesting that you have an NHL player calling out the rule books. It's not often that NHL players speak out against things.
Maybe ignorant question, but like, can we fix these masks? Like, can we?
Yeah.
It seems like any direct hit, it's popping off.
Well, you probably want that though, because you don't want it to stay on, maybe because it'll hook the head to the side or whatever. You probably want it to fall.
Well, and probably dampens the impact.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Also,
sorry, yeah.
Well, no, we're
on the same track.
You guys say the same thing, totally.
So I think just fucking blow it dead, man. The difference between now
someone's
and
going
like,
to abuse it.
And like the 50s, yes, somebody will abuse it, but the difference between now and like the 50s and 60s, when like Jacques Plante finally put a mask on, was that they all had wooden straight sticks.
Yeah.
And they could not shoot the way they can now. One of those pucks hits you in the head, you could die. That's the end of it. Like, that is straight up what it is. So if a player on the ice, a player loses their helmet, they got to get off. Goalie loses their helmet, play can continue because there might be a scoring chance. So which part of the safety are we looking at?
The reason that the play can continue with the goalie without a mask is because pucks are coming towards him.
Yes, Because somebody else might take another shot, Jesse.
So we need to continue this play so that you can face an imminent scoring chance. So that means the puck is coming at you without the mask.
Yes.
This is completely against safety and everything that makes sense.
Just don't have masks.
Like I got big problems with the way that rule is written as well. And Matthew Nyes, when in his post-game scrum, he said, I was a little scared, to be honest. Like that, like there's an NHL player, he's defending his team and everything, but like
I was
supposed to be tough. Everybody in that situation should be scared for Stoller.
This guy had a concussion 4 months ago.
Yeah.
But again, okay, is this dangerous?
Yes.
Do we want to keep players safe? Yes. Are guys going to cheat like crazy? Also, yes.
You think a goalie is going to shake off his mask?
1,000,000%.
And that's when you have a ref call a penalty.
Or even a penalty shot.
Yeah.
I like a penalty better. Penalty shots are bullshit.
Or the option.
I'll take
Or
a
the
2-minute
option.
penalty all day over.
Or the option.
Yeah, or the option. Yeah, penalties decline. It's going to be a 2-minute.
That's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I understand the fan base. Like if the Rangers score there, but it's called off because his mask is off. Let's say they change the rules.
I get them being mad about that.
You should be mad about that because you would have scored if that mask stays on and there's a goal there.
Yeah.
So maybe it's okay that the rules are written this way. I just hope they blow it faster. You know, like don't wait for the Leafs to gain full possession. Maybe if you just know that like the Rangers aren't directly shooting it into the net, blow it dead.
Yeah.
You know, because they took a couple passes there and Stolar's made a save. And everybody after the game was like, old school, you made a save with no mask. It's the 40s again.
Yeah.
But it was actually really dangerous.
Hey, have you seen any of those guys' faces?
They're broken.
They're broken. Yeah. I unfortunately, we've lost a lot of them by now, but like that photo of Terry Sawchuk is absolutely insane. I got to speak to Johnny Bauer once in my life. I got to ask him 2 questions, and after the first one, his top dentures popped out. These guys like have been through it. But to me, that play was how you know the Rangers don't have championship DNA because because they tried to score.
Yeah.
You got to put yourself in the mindset of the Florida Panthers.
Oh, you should kill the goal.
You tee it up and aim straight for the teeth.
Yeah. No.
Actually, eyeball.
No, between the
eyeball. You're much
the
more
eyes.
likely to kill the
between the eyes.
No,
Yeah.
Steve, you're trying to murder him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Whatever. And then
Jeez.
you play. You know,
It got dark.
this is all a game of president. You play your Joker, which is, but I'm his friend.
And he's such we're such good friends. He's one of our guys. Fuck off. All right, now let's talk about Matthews and Nylander in OT. Vintage Matthews Nylander play. And I think I had to remind my wife of this. She was like, they talk a lot about Matthews and Marner and blah, blah, blah. She's like, they did play together for 10 years. Like I swear to God. I'm like, no, they didn't.
No.
They were banned from playing together for the first 3.5 years. Who did Auston Matthews play with? Have we all forgotten? It's William Nylander.
I feel like they got it wrong the whole time. Babcock is like, Matthews and Nylander play together. Mitch can fuck off. Keefe goes, Austin and Mitch play together. Willie can fuck off. And by the time Berube always had Mitch with Matthews.
Well, because I think that was a player request.
They don't run the asylum. What are you doing? There's a very popular saying about this. You have the craziest 1-2 punch on the right wing in the fucking league, and you handcuffed yourself by not alternating.
Yep.
Why? Anyway, glad they connected.
They looked great.
Steve, how do you feel about that? I can't tell.
It's complicated. I like to keep a level head. No, like, dude, you can't score for like a week. Switch it up. You have 2 $11-ish million right wingers and the best goal scorer on earth. And you're not even going to tinker with it? Oh my God, this organization.
Well, they have to now. Now they're forced to. It's sort of like when it's sort of like in your favorite movie, the one movie you've seen. Moneyball, where they trade a player so that Art Howe can't play him.
Steve watched Moneyball and was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
That's all the movies for my lifetime.
Yeah. Well, That was it.
I've seen
And
the
Aladdin.
greatest.
I saw
Nothing will ever meet
peaked-
this.
Movies have peaked at Moneyball. I don't need more movies.
That is an accurate depiction of Mark Shapiro.
Yep.
And that is
Everyone
how I feel.
involved is very happy with how they were portrayed. No, like they'll play Cowan with Matthews and Nyes, and then in certain situations they'll put Willie there, and I'm like, right on time, boys.
By the way,
right on time.
Worth noting, Cowan did not play in the third period.
He did
Ugly.
not
Ugly game.
Ugly game.
Hey, rookie. Rookie.
not his best. Not his best. It's interesting because I actually thought he made some of the best defensive plays of his career. On account of he's 3 games in.
Okay.
But also a lot of giveaways.
Lorentz going to be in, it looks like, tomorrow against Seattle.
He should be. I don't love him being
But
scratched.
who's coming out? Well, he was hurt. That's why. They wanted to just give him extra rest.
No, but yesterday was, well,
He was eligible.
they
but
reported it as a healthy scratch, which I didn't like because he's coming off an injury. You know what I mean? So he was cleared to play.
Okay. Let's
Anyway.
get to the real question,
Sure.
which is who's coming out?
Do you have an answer?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I don't know what the lines are right now. I could look it up.
my
Masters
guess-
probably has them.
My guess is Robbie. And I'm not picking on him. His game was fine yesterday. Robertson hit Robertson. I thought that was very funny.
So it's interesting. Matthews didn't practice. He did do some skates before, but he's taken a breather today, like Nylander did yesterday.
They're playing a lot.
And Yarncroke sat between Nyes and Cowan, so we don't know.
It looks like it's going to be Yarncroke.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yarncroke coming out, really?
Based on those lines, it would be Lorenz, Waugh, and Joshua.
I thought he was very good last
Robertson, Domi, McMahon, Michelli, Tavares, Nylander, Nyes, Matthew, Cowan. Just based on those practices.
I'd like to see Yarncroke, Domi, McMahon.
That's fun.
That could be.
I like McMahon on the right. Yarncroke can play the left. Lorenz, Waugh, Joshua doesn't seem like a very good time for the other guys. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't love Yarncroke coming out, but like there's got to be a rotation here. Blais hasn't even got into a game yet.
And you have to give Auston a shot at the Rocket, because if you leave Yarncroke in there, he's going to steal it from Auston, and you don't want that.
It's like
Does he still lead the team?
No, I think
Austin does now.
Yeah.
Oh, because he has the 2 empty net.
Man,
Yeah.
Anybody that took Yarncroke in fantasy just had the best week of their lives, and I would encourage you to drop him after this.
Who
I don't think
on
you're gonna have
God's green earth took Yarncroke
Yeah.
in
deep
fantasy?
leagues, man, deep leagues.
I don't
You
know.
never
I don't know. You got to have a 24-team league or something.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone in his family took him in fantasy.
Yeah.
And if they did, they're in first.
I would love to know if somebody took him and actually got the points for it, like actually addressed him too.
There's no way. There's just no way.
Anyway, so listen, what do we take from last night's game? Obviously, it's game 5 or 6. I don't even know. What do we take?
They're a more organized team than the Rangers, I would say. There's a lot of the Rangers played nervous. They played really nervous, jumpy hockey. And yeah, as a Leaf fan, I would know. I can already hear you screaming it. I would know. It's good to see Auston get his cookies. Willie's getting his cookies. Willie's up to 9 points. I know some of those are on empty netters. So I don't really care, and I don't think he does either.
Nyes has 7 and 5.
Nyes has 7. They're both doing really well. The big guys are performing. You're getting a few depth performances, which is nice. Stolarz looks really sharp. Like overall, if you just look at the individual pieces, you're getting what you want out of the lineup. Are they still kind of disjointed? Yeah. I tell you the player I'm cheering for the hardest every time he takes the ice, just because I don't think he's playing poorly.
Hold on. Jesse, who do you think he's going to say?
I don't know.
Who is Steve
Who are you
cheering
cheering?
for?
I don't think he's playing poorly. I think he's doing a lot of good things, and I just don't think it's going his way.
I am going to say, it's not. Are you going to say Nick Robertson?
Domi?
You're both wrong. Matthias Michelli.
Oh, okay. All
I
right.
like the things that are going on when he's on the ice. He works really hard, and he's fighting it. I think he's fighting it. I think he needs to slow down a little, because he's had so many sexy setups that either haven't ended in a shot or a goal, and one of them's going to damn well go in, and the building's going to go, holy shit, who's this guy? It hasn't come yet, and I hope it comes before he finds his way into the bottom 6 and potentially out of the lineup.
I agree.
Okay. BetMGM is an official sports betting partner of the National Hockey League. It has everything for action on the ice. And here's the thing. You might want to know this. Listen, you've probably seen a lot of hockey games lately, and you're going, man, it feels like there's a lot of hockey going on. There's a lot of hockey. That's because there's the Olympics for basically better part of a month in February, and the odds are available at betmgm.com. So, Jesse, what do we got up here?
We have who's going to win the gold medal. Canada, the favorite, 2.75 times your money. The USA comes in just behind that one at 3-1. Sweden 6-1. Finland 8-1. And those are the 4 teams that BetMGM's kind of giving the chances to win the gold medal.
Now, Czechia 15, Switzerland 20.
Is it possible to show more? Because the one thing I want to say is there was an Olympics, the first one I watched, where nobody gave a particular team a chance. Mm-hmm. Everybody was like, it's going to be Team Canada or Team USA. And at that point, they were called the Czech Republic, and they had Dominik Hasek. And Dominik Hasek dominated, and they also had Jágr too. And they won.
Jesse, honestly, that's not even high enough. Italy is 301.
301 to 1.
It's not high enough.
But I was going to specifically say, would you take Germany at 51 to 1? Because of Leon. Mm-hmm. If he just had a crazy tournament. Canada.
Who's their goalie?
Grubauer.
Have I said enough?
Yeah. Yes.
So the answer is no?
Cider. I mean, 51 is... Yeah, I'll sprinkle on that. Like, I don't know. That's
5 times 50, you put $5 on that?
Switzerland always punches above their weight.
They do. They got a good program. Germany's the one that interests me there.
I don't know.
Unless Freddie Anderson just has a crazy game or a crazy tournament for Denmark at 151.
There's 2 teams I like in there because injuries could tank odds. I like, here, scroll up a little, Jesse. Mm-hmm. Czechia and Sweden. I like them.
Czechia, what are the odds?
Czechia at 15 to 1, Sweden at 6 to 1, even.
They've priced in that Sweden's going to be pretty good.
As they should.
Yeah.
Sweden, it felt like they had a very unlucky 4-nation face-off.
They had the same amount of points in the round robin as Canada.
Yeah, like I want Canada to win. It's just those odds are not the greatest.
Yeah, they're not like, hey, I got to go jump at that because there's money to be made or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Canada's probably pretty likely to win this thing.
USA has... to me, by far the most stacked roster.
Yeah, like when I look at this, it's like, okay, well, I want Canada to win, obviously, but it'd be more interesting if you put something on one of these flyers here.
Yeah,
where it's like Switzerland at something like 26 to 1, or like your Germany one is fun, but I just Grubauer rooting for him.
I just think I always think Leon Draisaitl in high leverage games. That's why I went there.
One guy can't make this.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Now listen, the BetMGM app has tons of improvements to its lineup this season, including instant withdrawals, data insights, and a brand new rewards hub. Download the BetMGM app today to enjoy the NHL like never before. BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 18 plus to wager. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you have any questions or concerns about your gambling or somebody close to you, please contact Connects Ontario 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with iGaming Ontario. Now, we had a ton of requests to do this one specific thing, and it's called, and I've sent Jesse the initial clip, but we got a few because we're moving off the Leafs now. Welcome to Evan Bouchard Corner.
I'm so excited.
It is the first. So, Jesse, I sent you a Twitter video, and then I'm going to send you a YouTube video, which has the rest of this stuff. But before we get into this, specifically,
I can't look at the screen.
You can look at the screen. It's no problem. I want to read you what Evan Bouchard's coach and defense partner said about him after the game. So Chris Knobloch said, Evan is one of the best defensemen in the NHL, but tonight was not his night.
Oy.
Matthias Ekholm said, I'm sure he knows he could have made some other decisions tonight.
Oy. Other decisions.
Bouchard said, when it's not going my way, I got to find a way to make different plays. And and I'm setting you all up for this because Mark Spector pointed out in his article, games like this one are something Bouchard simply cannot seem to outgrow, and it will extinguish any hopes he may have of making Team Canada's Olympic roster in February, because you know who was at this game?
Oh, no. Who?
Julien Brisebois, assistant general manager for Team Canada. And so you're going to see here, this is 3:44 in the first. This is not the first major giveaway of the game, but this is the first one that results in a goal and an eventual hat trick.
So I have not seen this.
So there's Bo Horvat and there's Evan Bouchard at the top, at center ice, and Bo Horvat merely just taps his stick and he is gone.
Oh, dear.
Goal.
You keep calling him Bo Horvat, but I believe that's Matt Barzal.
Oh, is that Barzal for that one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Barzal. Sorry.
Yeah.
Barzal's a righty.
Yeah, my bad.
That's
That's Barzal.
Stupid idiot. Wait. So here, stop there.
Yeah.
Where does Bouchard go with this? Because this feels
He
like a
just cuts
very...
in. He just kind of cuts in.
Why are you doing that? All the Islanders
Just
in the
flip
middle of a line change.
Flip it over them.
No, go to Ekholm.
Yeah.
Go to Ekholm, who goes to Mangiapane, who goes for the easy zone entry, and now you're cooking.
Here, now that we know how this kind of plays out, I'm going to show you the zoomed in version because it's even worse. Maddie, bring that off. And I'll show you this one where you get the up close on just how terrible this move is. So here you go. So here he is, Bouchard, and he tries to dangle Barzal here, and it just rolls off his stick, and he never has it.
Look at his mouth. Look at his mouth.
Hey, I'm Evan Bouchard. I'm going to go just dangle Barzal. I'm going to go right by him. I'm going to go a little right to left. What? What? Oh, I never had the puck. He never came with the puck on the move.
Yep.
It never,
You do need that.
It never stuck on his stick. He never had it, and Barzal just picked it up. He forgot the most important object on the ice,
And which
the
is
black
which
disc.
is what, Jesse?
The little black disc they call a puck.
Ah.
It's crazy.
Oh, no.
Anyways, it's
Now,
embarrassing.
Jesse-
Wait, that's not it?
No.
There's more.
Oh,
that
no.
wasn't even the first one. So, Jesse, I have sent you the highlights from the game. I'm going to ask you to go to 27 seconds into the highlight pack.
Oh, that's not
Now, when you get a game in 10 on the Sportsnet YouTube channel, yeah, you expect there to be like, there's a face-off or a shot or something like that.
Or an entire commercial break.
Yeah, that happened. That happened to them last night. Yeah, they left a commercial break in the league's highlights.
Get people to edit stuff.
No, AI can do it.
They make
Now-
so much money that they should not have errors like that because people should be checking their content.
Even if you have AI do it and have a human check it before it gets posted.
Yeah, no one checked
Nobody
it.
reviewed it.
Yeah,
one checked that.
and I feel bad for them because now they're going to get blamed for it when really it's the people that don't employ enough people
It's okay.
that are to blame.
It's just the Toronto Maple Leafs on the national rights holders.
So here's the because
Not a big
I would bet $1,000 that the person who had to edit that video, by the way, is overtaxed in their job.
Yes.
Now let's go to this once the ad's clear. So it's 27 seconds in, Jesse. Evan Bouchard, Stephen, do not look. Evan Bouchard, what I showed you was a neutral zone play.
Yes.
How about we show you one where he's behind the net? And let me ask you this. Before I tell you, you know that this is going to be a giveaway. This is very early in the game, first minute. Where is Evan Bouchard putting this puck where he ought not to?
Got it. Because
just guess.
the first one that we saw, that's a puck rolled off his stick. That's a mistake anyone can make.
Yep.
That's not a true Evan Bouchard corner. Is this one a true
This
Evan
is
Bouchard
Evan
corner?
Bouchard almost in the corner. Where does he put this puck?
Right in front of his damn goalie.
Wow. Crazy how you could just pick that out. Jesse, let's do a screen grab our way through this one. So Bouchard is behind the net, and there's a number 13 for the Islanders.
That's Bo Horvat, right, Adam?
Yeah, is he notable in any way?
As Matthew
Now,
Barzal.
okay, now you're number 2 in this scenario, Steve, Jesse.
Hell yeah.
What are your options? You could fire it forward, ring it around the board.
Yeah, I don't
You
know
could
who's
fire it
there.
backwards if you take a quick look and you got a couple players there.
You know
Right?
what I don't do? I don't send it at Stuart Skinner.
Well, you can also just hold on to it for like a second longer. Like he's not really even skating towards you. He's trying to pinch you as you
Yeah, he's trying to cover an angle.
go farther. And then, but the longer you hold on to it, the more you open up Draisaitl. Probably.
Right, which is who he tries to find.
Poorly.
Yes. And this is where we get to a scenario where you're trying to find Draisaitl, and Draisaitl is swooping in front of Stuart Skinner. And what can happen when that happens is you maybe miss the pass, or maybe it bounces off number 13, which is exactly what happened. It bounced off number 13, and you might see a number 21, I believe it's over there, and that would be Mr. Cal Palmieri, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right.
And that is an awkward spot for the and there it goes.
It's so October Oilers.
Yeah.
They just got a shutout. You know, you quiet down some of the Stuart Skinner stuff. You're feeling good about yourselves, and your number one defenseman, one of the best scoring defensemen in the league, one of the highest paid defensemen in the league, lays an egg against the friggin' Islanders, who should be in the McKenna sweepstakes.
Now, that was the first mistake which led to a goal. The second one is the one I showed you on camera, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And
There's
then
more?
And then before the third period ends, Jesse, go to 434 of this video. And I'm sorry the scrub is not as good as it used to be last season. We will have to figure that out. But this one is his third.
You're just going to have to get more descriptive.
Yes. Third major turnover of the first
Oh,
period.
and it's Rittich in net against the... This should be... How many people picked up Skinner last night because they're like, easy win?
I played him in fantasy.
Did you?
And how'd that go?
I got a L.
Evan Bouchard.
Couldn't have gone worse than me getting Hofer the other day.
You get
Holy
points
shit.
for L's, right? How
Not
many L's you get?
Really? I lost. I got negative 12 points from Joel Hofer. I'm dead. Like, I was doing fine. I'm dead. I have no chance to win this week.
Okay. Now, what do we got? Jesse, you got it here?
Yeah, 434.
434. Okay. So let's watch number 2. He is on the puck carrier, top of your screen near Catelli Protein. And you can kind of see that.
How are we still
he
in the
gets
first
puck.
period?
Look. So here, look, he gets the puck.
Uh-huh.
This is 51 seconds to go. Okay. Gets the puck, has options. Look, there's Trent Frederick. But he fell.
What is happening?
Why can't he stay on his feet?
No. What happens now?
That's a little un-Bouchard-like,
Now,
right?
Yes.
He's a good skater.
But look how many Oilers are around him. There's a play to be made here, even from one's knees.
Oh, my God.
Nope. There goes the puck. And Ekholm.
And I believe Stuart Skinner bails him out on this play.
Yeah. Skinner makes the save here. He was not feeling it.
You know you had a bad night when they start showing the plays that didn't result in goals?
Yeah. Now, Jesse, let's go to 650 of this video.
Yeah.
Oilers on the power play. And, you know, sometimes, and this happens to the Leafs too, sometimes when you're on the power play, you're so focused on the offensive side.
You get pinched at the blue line?
You get passed at the blue line, and you don't even know. Okay. Now, you know that Bo Horvat.
Is it Bo Horvat?
It is Bo Horvat.
Got it. Okay.
This is for sure Bo Horvat is a guy that also kills penalties. He scores goals and kills penalties.
That's why you got him.
He'd have made a good Canuck, I think. Weird that they never had him.
Meh.
I just want you to see this because you don't even see the defensemen, either of them, swivel their head because they don't know. And it's Evan's guy. So here we go. You're going to see the play. Now the puck in Bouchard's, you can look. In Bouchard's defense, the puck is in the corner, right? Mm-hmm. There are 3 Islanders down low. When you are a hockey player, you got to count, right? You do have to count. That's a part of it. I got to know where everybody sort of is. And look, if you're watching this game and this is the only screen you see, this is the clear play here for the Islander player is to just dump it down.
That's Pajot, I think.
Right. But what's Pajot do?
He's protecting the puck.
Yeah. And then lifts a nice little shovel backhand pass to look at how far Horvat is ahead of Bouchard.
Oh, no, he had no idea.
Like, literally no idea.
Oh, no.
And as great a skater as Evan is, you're not catching Bo Horvat. And you bet, and he both scores that.
Yeah, this was a shorty, right?
Yeah.
You know, Colby Armstrong, he was the first guy I ever heard this term from. He talked about panic crossovers.
That's a funny, I think
there's a giveaway and you start going, shoot. You got to go the other way. I've never seen Bouchard do that once.
No.
I've never seen him do that once.
Here's the crazy part is we do this in the regular season.
Yeah.
And he's known for his not bending his knees and stuff like that, being a Christmas decoration out there. But in the playoffs, I've seen him do it. I've seen him be dialed and make defensive plays and be really strong. And Oilers fans going, see, we told you. Listen, I get that, but also there's this.
Bless Cale Makar. Bless him. Because you look at the points that Bouchard puts up, and you're like, how can he not be on Team Canada? Oh, thank you, Jesse.
Here's your Tim Hortons.
Thank you.
Cale Makar. Blessed be the card.
Blessed be. Oh.
Yeah. Cale Makar could have just decided to be that.
He will win the Norris.
He didn't have to try to play good defense.
No.
What was the
But he
Four
does.
Nations 6?
It was Makar. It was Taves. It was
Theodore until he was injured.
Morrissey.
Harley
was a late addition. Sanheim. And I think we're missing a righty in there. Parayko.
Evans, is he 7?
No.
And Pietrangelo didn't go.
No, Adam says quickly.
No. I mean, Spec said it. I don't need to say it.
Okay, we need someone to run the power play. Okay, Cale. And then, okay, we need someone else. It does, like,
anybody.
It's Team Canada. They can all do it.
Doughty.
Oh,
Doughty.
That's what you forgot. Doughty, Parayko, Harley, Morrissey, Theodore, Makar, Sanheim, Taves. That was their 4 names.
By the way, I love that Thomas Harley is the rare Canadian born in the United States.
Yes.
Oh, Syracuse.
Yeah.
Yes.
What the?
Look at that.
I didn't know that.
That is a pretty solid defense unit. I don't know if
Says who?
Bouchard's cracking that.
They also won, so you're not moving off those guys unless someone puts in a crazy performance.
Oh, Canada, Hockey Canada does love a good old confirmation bias.
Any of these names there you're taking out for Bouchard?
No.
Arguably Morrissey, arguably Doughty.
You can't take him.
Doughty's there.
Not
They're
Norris.
not taking him
Winnipeg
out.
is going to come. The entire city is going to come to Ajax and burn your house.
Well, no. So what I'm trying to remember is who were the 6 for the gold medal game? Because obviously Theodore was hurt.
I can pull it up.
I don't think Morrissey played, but I think he might have been hurt.
Yeah, Harley was playing. I know that. He was unbelievable.
Harley played. So I think it was either Morrissey or Sanheim.
So they had the chance, by the way, when Pietrangelo pulled out to get Bouchard in. And they said, no.
That's the thing. They were already playing a guy short. He didn't get an invite. Then someone got hurt. They brought in another guy.
On an
and
emergency
it still wasn't Bouchard.
Yep.
Doughty, Harley, Makar, Parayko, Sanheim, Taves. Those are your 6.
So Morrissey wasn't in there. Sanheim was.
He was hurt.
Yeah, those are your 6 who played for Canada.
And Harley had an assist.
Mm-hmm. Now, we're not done.
I don't think he's cracking the roster is what I'm saying.
9-19. This is a scenario where the Oilers are trying to tie the game up.
Okay.
Because, I don't know if you know this, but Bo Horvat had 2. Matt Barzal had 1.
It's crazy how much Bo Horvat's numbers come up.
And I'm just going to give you...
Had a hat trick.
He had a hat trick.
Oh, son of a bitch.
So you know the answer. And also, he had a shorthanded goal. And then he had a power play goal. And then what was his third goal?
I scratched him for Tavares.
Oh, that sucks.
I hate my life.
That's right. That's an EN. So he had an SH, a PP, and an EN. And the reason he had an EN will be on the screen and be available to you as
it's good.
Oh, it's on. Okay. Dying minutes of the game, Bouchard misses his man. And he is down at the bottom, by the way, if you're looking. He's got an opportunity here to head this off. But completely, this is about body positioning. Look at what happens along the boards here. Look what happens. Evan, if he is a foot to the right, this Islanders player cannot do this. But he goes along the boards. Islander player swivels around, fires it to one of his guys, and all of a sudden we have a 2-on-1 on an empty net.
I want to say that used to be Brock Nelson's number. The first few weeks of the season, I'm
It's
like,
hard.
who the hell are all of you?
Yeah, I can look it up.
I think we're okay.
Yeah.
Holmstrom?
Yeah. So my point is, it looks like it was Jonathan Drouin, actually. Drouin was able to, a new Islander, he was able to spin away,
Team
pass
Canada.
the puck up, and eventually that ends up in the back of the net. That is just flat out body positioning. That's all that is.
And that's a game you should win. Like, look at that. It's the Islanders. It's their backup. You're out shooting them 32-24.
It's McDavid and Draisaitl versus Big Save Dave.
They've
seen this guy. They know what he's about.
Hockey is obviously such a team sport, and it's so rare any one player wins a game, and so rare any one player loses a game. That's one where you can look and be like, if you have a mediocre night, we win that game, right? And they couldn't even muster that.
That's brutal.
That's tough.
It's bad.
That is a tough one.
That concludes our first Evan Bouchard corner, but first of many, I'm sure, throughout the season. Doesn't make him not a great goalie, though, Edmonton. Don't worry.
It does make him. Evan Bouchard's a terrible goalie.
Terrible goalie.
If he were a good goalie, he'd be paid to do it.
Jesse, in terms of timing, how are we looking here? Because I want to make sure that we're rolling.
We're about an hour 50 total for the episode.
Okay,
right
so...
now.
All right. So we had, here's what I was going to get to, but these are just smaller things. Goalie fights in Anaheim. The goalies got into fights, Anaheim, Carolina. Great. We love that. You can go look that up later.
Oh my God. Sometimes the late night stuff I miss when I'm doing LFR. That's awesome. Crazy.
Paul Maurice, did you guys see his face when the ref changed from this is a good goal to not a...
Extremely funny.
Funny guy.
Extremely funny.
God, I hate that he's hilarious.
I know.
I wanted to just give you an idea of how insane some professional athletes are. Sam Montembeault is a nut job. He knows pretty much every player in the league's handedness and what color of stick they use. And so the person that interviewed him, which I believe is, I forget who I think it might be
someone who covers the Habs.
It's Drettelstape. I've never heard of this person, but here's what it is. He said, I pretty much know everybody's handedness and what color of tape they use. The host says, really? What if I say Crosby? He's like, left, black tape. He's like, okay. What if I say David Pastrnak? He's like, righty, black tape. And he's like, Adrian Kempe, lefty, white tape. Tyler Seguin, righty, black tape. Nyes, lefty, white tape. Frederick Gaudreau.
Freddie Gaudreau.
Righty, white tape. Anze Kopitar, lefty, black. Evander Kane, lefty, black. Ryan Donato, lefty, black. He just knows them.
I knew pretty much all the handedness. The tape that's psycho stuff.
That's crazy.
That's sicko stuff.
Out of San Jose, and I'm just doing quick hits here. Will Smith, Big Willie style, was moved to the bottom 6 in Sharks practice because according to Sheng Peng, actually, I'm wrong. That is a parody. I almost got screwed.
No!
But he was moved. So that's interesting. I wanted to hit one more thing. Two more things. Jesse, can we bring up the new Utah mascot, Tusky? Yeah. We need to see Tusky.
Oh, I've seen Tusky.
And I got to tell you, I like Tusky a lot. Tusky's back. We're getting back to scarier mascots, which you remember when on the VIP episode, I introduced Jesse and Steve to the Phillies' original mascot, the Flying Dutchman and his rat. Right. And they are from 1889 and they're terrifying.
Yes, I hate it.
Tusky feels like one of those movies that's like one of those like Friday Night at Freddy's characters where it's supposed to be a children's character, but it's actually going to kill you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So look at girl, you are serving. Look at that.
Look at that. Look at the hair, the blue hair,
the attitude, and the eyes are all black.
And can I just say, can I make a term even cooler by saying it at 37? That photo is aura farming right there.
Is it?
Look at him. He's aura farming right now. He's aura farming. That's serving. That's not aura farming. That's serving.
Yeah.
Can I have one piece of criticism for Tusky? Overall, 9 out of 10.
I have one as well.
I
have one as well. I'm
not hating here. I'm just saying you could have made it a little better. I don't like how the bottom half is just man. You should have gone monster. Think of like Gritty. The bottom half is the mascot, and then they're just wearing a jersey.
Webbed feet.
Gritty's a full commitment.
Keep them
They
guessing.
went with just hockey man with a head on it. You should have gone like mascot. Why is the body of a man and not of a tusky thing?
Yeah.
Of a mammoth.
Yeah.
Like, be a woman.
That's my only thing. So 8 out of 10. I'm dropping you another point.
That's
What's your Steve?
misogyny.
What's your...
Nepotism. He only got this job because...
Oh, Tusky's a female mascot?
Yeah, it could be. But they only got this job because they have a very famous brother in the league, and that's Carolina Hurricanes GM Eric Tusky.
Boo.
That
was bad. That was bad.
No, it's very good.
Guys, I think they gave up halfway through this mascot, and they should have just kept going.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we got the head done. It's great. Should we worry about the rest? Nah, we'll get that later in the summer.
They nailed it with the head, and then they just put a fucking hockey player in the rest of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got the logo. What if we just did that?
Yeah.
What if we just did that with, like, you know what? My brother has a bunch of costumes from rejected Blues Clues characters. I got one that I think will be perfect. And you know what? It looks sick. The jersey's sick. I don't care. I don't give a damn. Good for them. They're going to have... I think right now, Jesse, they're listening to this segment. Oh, what if we made their costume more cumbersome? They're like, shut the fuck up.
It's crazy how Carlton the bear is a full bear.
Mm-hmm. Carlton
not even
can
wearing
do
pants.
a backflip.
In true bear fashion, naked down there.
No pants.
Yeah.
Just
No pants.
hell yeah.
Now,
Free balling it.
yeah. Listen, Tusky's he's obviously got something to hide. You know what I'm saying? He's wearing pants. Now let me say
Animals
this.
don't wear pants, people. Fix
Jesse.
your mascot.
Jesse, last thing.
Trunked up?
I think he's trunked up. I think I found the coolest jersey in the NCAA. And it is the Fighting Irish third jersey or special jersey this year. Now, the Fighting Irish have one of the best logos anyway. It's the Irishman with the fists up like, let's go.
Yep.
Notre Dame, come on. But as NCAA hockey gains more prominence, and it's gaining very quickly, we're going to start to see cooler shit like this. And I love this take. I think it's so cool. This is one of those jerseys where you're like, I just want to own it because it's cool. I'm not even necessarily a fan of the school.
Where do they play?
I have no idea.
I should know that.
Why are you asking me that?
I know. Well, I don't know. You know some American adjacent stuff.
Sure.
I think every American hockey fan is like, you're a dumbass. And I'm like, well,
They probably play on campus somewhere.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe got an arena on campus. It is college sports.
can
right?
I look to my left?
You can't. Oh, there it is.
Oi!
So we got the Fighting Irish, but this time he's holding a hockey stick and he's going to do a slap shot.
I like it.
I love this jersey.
I like it. The only other thing you could have done, and I'm sure it was pitched, is just the Fighting Irish logo, but there's gloves on the ice at his feet.
Oh, there's a
Right.
good idea.
But then that makes the logo a little busy. I like this.
Also, probably you want to portray him playing hockey,
Maybe on account of I don't even think you're allowed to fight in NCAA.
You're not.
But it's no, that's excellent.
Steve, are you asking where like the arena is or like where Notre Dame is?
I don't know where Notre Dame is.
Indiana.
Yeah.
You could have given me all day.
Oh, yeah?
No idea.
Interesting.
I would've
It's
said-
near South Bend, Indiana.
I don't know what I would have said. I have no idea.
Fascinating.
I don't know where Notre Dame is.
Maybe that's a fun game we can play on some other episode, like when
Where
we're
they
stretching
play?
for time. I give you the name of college football teams
No
or just
idea.
universities in the States, and you got to tell me what state they're in.
All the NCAA, like I'm trying to think of the teams from March Madness.
Yeah.
Any of the ones that don't have the place in the name, Duke, Vanderbilt.
Duke, that's
I don't know where Duke is.
Carolina. The rivalry with North Carolina.
Oh, so I thought you were telling me they were in Carolina.
Yeah.
Oh, they are in Carolina.
Yeah.
So is Duke the name of the university?
Yes, it's Duke University.
All of them. I don't know. I don't know. Why do I need
That's
to
a
know?
fun game. It'd
I
be
don't know.
fun for the American listeners, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have the
University
Canadian
of
one.
Miami of Ohio. Why are you fucking with me?
Baylor.
Baylor. Let's go with Arkansas.
Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. Baylor's in Texas near Waco.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's home of the Waco team.
I want to move on.
Well, there was some famous events that happened with.
I'm aware.
We don't need to go there.
That was part of the hesitation.
Oh, yeah.
You don't need to go there. All right. So listen, we promised you Kevin McGran, and we're going to give you Kevin McGran. One of the scariest men in media is joining us to talk about his new book with Auston Matthews right now. So Kevin McGran, member of the Dog Pound, here to scare players out of town.
Toronto media.
Kevin, we will be asking you about that a little bit later, but I want to start with why you're here, which is this book on Auston. And we were talking off the air. I asked you how long it took, so it was 2 years putting this together.
So from the time I signed the contract with Simon & Schuster to the time of the book launch was just about 2 years on the nose.
Okay.
And I mean, I remember sitting, like it was a book that I had in my head. Austin's young life is so interesting and so different from any other hockey player. Is a book I said, I just need time to get it all out. That's all I need. And they said, okay, well, we'll give you, and they gave me like more than a year to write it. And I thought, oh, I won't need that much time. Right. And I did. Like it's
is there an author out there who ever hits their real deadline?
No.
Well, I hit the deadline
Not in this room.
for everything I wanted to write.
Okay.
And then they said, but we need to include what was last season in it.
Right.
So I just had to wait for like the Four Nations and the playoffs and the Marner trade and all that to happen before I could finish it. Right. So there was a lot of like, it's done. And now I have to wait for it to be really done.
At what point in the process did Steve's blurb on the back of the book come in?
Oh, did you take credit?
I sure do have a card reader in my back pocket. It's 2025.
Did you deliver that on time, Steve?
He did. It was
okay.
Oh, yes, I did.
It was awesome. It was a big surprise for me. Like this is my first book, so I didn't really know what the process was, but I've read enough books to know there's supposed to be a foreword by somebody. And I was like, who's going to write the foreword for this? And then I asked other people, said, well, what really happens is you write the foreword and somebody puts their name on it. I said, oh, okay, I could get that. So I got very, very close to Lou Lamoriello doing it.
Oh,
that would have been so cool.
And then my editor said, no, don't worry about that. Forewords don't really sell books. We're going to get some big names to read it and write a blurb for you, and that's really what's going to matter.
Okay.
Big names. So who else did you get?
Yeah. Please tell me you were more ambitious.
Well, I thought Lou through the whole process, Lou was like one of the best guys to talk to about it.
Really?
Right?
Wow.
He loves Auston Matthews. He loves the family. He loved everything about that story. And, Lou's a big USA Hockey guy, and Austin's a big USA Hockey presence now. So there was a lot. And I always got along with Lou in so many ways when he was the general manager. In fact, we're already off topic, but that's fine.
That's the show. That is what we do.
I changed Lou. And so I don't know if you remember this, but so I went for lunch with him maybe as end of the first season with him, right?
Okay.
And I asked something like, Lou was sort of like, is there anything we can do differently? Is there anything we can do whatever? And I said, yeah, well, why don't you release dollars and cents when it comes to contracts? Because like we all find out 3 seconds after you announce it. So why don't you just announce it? And he said, well, his first answer was, because that's what we've always done. And then he realized how that sounded. And this wasn't an interview. I got home from that lunch.
Yeah.
It was at 11. I got home from that lunch, and the Leafs, I think, had signed Callie Rosen.
Callie Rosen.
There's a name.
And they released the terms of the deal.
Whoa.
And I'm like, I changed Lou.
Yeah. And then he went to New York and immediately changed back and didn't even announce players.
For
when
his
they were
time in
signed.
Toronto, he was like, okay, we'll be a little bit more.
McGran's not here.
Yeah. I finally got away from McGran. Man, that was tough.
That's so interesting that you would say he loves Austin in his story. And I feel like that's an eye-opening revelation for a Leafs fan listening to this, because you don't think that Lou likes anything.
No.
He feels like the mob boss sitting in his ivory tower, and he has no heart there or soul. He's just all strictly business. So it's cool to hear that you chatted with him about like an athlete he loves.
Yeah, and Lou is, I guess he's got that persona, the Godfather. He knows where the bodies are buried. He probably buried a few of them himself. He's got,
allegedly.
But he is
allegedly.
He is a big sweetheart. He will go to the ends of the earth for you, right? He does things for people that will never. His book would be a great book if he would ever open up and write.
I have a feeling he will never do that, though.
I don't think he will ever let the secrets out.
Right. I've heard from a few people that he is surprisingly cool, like when you talk to him, and that's people within the organization or people that deal with him on a regular basis. It's like he's a very engaging, warm individual. That's not what we saw. And it was so amazing with Lou and Kevin. I want to know if you can tell me about this a little bit. When you interview him on the record, he was the master at giving enormously long quotes and saying next to nothing.
Oh, he was brilliant at that. It was much to our frustration. It was kind of a thing where it's like, you got to get the general manager's point of view, or maybe it's a day where there's nothing happening and you just want to, are you firing the coach or whatever those questions are that you'd come up with. And he was the master of being eloquent and honest and not giving you anything you could hang a story on.
Yeah.
He would be the second or third quote in the story, not said Lou Lamoriello, general manager of the Maple Leafs.
So what is it like having that magical moment when you're like, Lou Lamoriello just said something. He just said something consequential and relevant and interesting. I have to use this. What is that magical moment like?
Well, he said something. It's in the book. I forget the exact quote, but it was...
Jesse, find it right.
We were talking about... there's no index anyway. We were talking about tanking for Matthews.
Right.
And he said something that I thought was quite eloquent. He said, some people say we did that. I don't know. Or something along those lines. So he was intimating that, yeah, they pulled the rug out from under that team. I mean,
Sure.
we can all say it. We all saw it happen in live in real time. But for him to sort of half admit it was
But that's the most you're gonna get, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's interesting about Auston and Lou, and I think bringing it back to the book for a second. That time was a pivotal change with the Leafs. You had Shanahan, who had come in and was kind of overlooking things. I remember they wanted to re-sign Dave Bolland, and he ended up in Florida.
It would have been one of his first moves.
And would have been one of the worst moves. Bolland didn't play a whole lot after that. Retains Randy Carlyle, then fires him. Peter Horacek era. It's bad. It's all bad. They have these two young players out of those 2 years, so Nylander and Marner, that come out of it. And, that first year with Mike Babcock, they have a historically high floor for a last place team, right? I think they finished with 69 points or something like that. And before Auston comes in and before Mitch and Willie are really playing with the Leafs, this is an organization that has a quote unquote culture problem. And I'm curious about your perspective on the 15-16 Leafs and the change when Auston and Willie and Mitch come in 16-17, because it seemed like a complete turnover over that time. Obviously, they kept some key players, but Kevin, can you talk about what predated Lou and Auston, and then what happened once they started?
Well, I really think it was the 14-15 team that had the issue. The 15-16 team under Babcock, they were remodeling themselves.
That
and
was
I think
a controlled demolition.
But I still think the players that were the remaining players, like the Tyler Bozaks and the James Van Riemsdykes and the James Reimers, they gravitated to Babcock. They thought he would be good for them, and in some ways he really was. It was the team before, remember Peter Horacek and the Give a Shit meter, right?
Yep.
Yeah, after a loss in New Jersey. That was okay, this team really doesn't, they're not pulling for each other. They hate the media. I think that was that.
Is that Salute Gate around there too?
Around that era.
It's around
right? They handled things very poorly. They handled losing poorly. They handled the fans poorly. They handled the media poorly. It was always kind of weird because Phil Kessel was a guy that was really hard to get to, but if he had something to say, he'd grab you around and he'd just tell you what was on his mind, and you thought, well, thanks for telling us, but you should really have said that. Right? That stuff with the tweets that had Lupul and insulting Dion's girl, Alicia Cuthbert.
Oh, God.
That kind of
I
stuff,
remember
right?
that.
That was all crazy, but they were, for whatever reason, they were just a terrible team. That 13 team that lost, it was 4-1. That was a fun team. It's the same characters, but they just all it had gone sour. I guess every story has its arc, and it was time to move on from those guys. When they, in that 14 year, the next year, they were in third place with 14 games to go. Third place in the conference with 14 games to go, and they missed the playoffs by a lot.
Yeah.
So they had the 8th overall pick that year. So the arc of that team, the fans were sick of them. They were sick of each other. They didn't like the coach. The coach didn't like them. You can't win with Phil. All this stuff was bubbling around. Some of it really not fair to the players, I think, but they kind of were their own worst enemies in some ways. And so then they changed the culture to that, and you bring in, what was that year? 7 rookies?
Yep.
All of whom?
Quite a few.
So you change the culture like that, and you have the best of the guys left over, right? The Kadris, the Rileys. JVR had a great year with Mitch.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the whole narrative around the team changed to one of incredible optimism and joy. And you really haven't seen that from a Leaf fan base in maybe since the Gilmore years.
Right. Right. And so Auston steps into that. And obviously and we don't want to ruin the book. This is the fun part about the book. But one of the things that you really loved and love about his story is how and where he got here. Like how did this all happen? Because, we've heard the story like lightly, which is, kid who happens to love hockey, sticks around the arena all day and just tries to jump on the fake ice. It's not even real ice. What is it about that part of the story that really sticks out to you as truly special? So
one of the things that you ever see the movie Sliding Doors?
Yes.
No,
I have. So it's basically, if the movie starts and there's two outcomes. You go through the doors or you don't, you miss them. And then there's the whole movie is two different movies, and because a woman misses a sliding door or she gets it. And it's like, what happens?
I know the movie invented the term sliding.
Yes. Yeah.
So she goes, she catches the train. She catches her husband having an affair. She misses the train. She doesn't catch it.
And
right?
what happens?
And then the life that happens because of that, right? And I kind of liken this book to that. There's so many sliding door moments that made Auston a Maple Leaf. And in my estimation, the greatest Maple Leaf of all time, at least by the time he's done. And there's mom has to meet dad. Obviously, that's like that goes without saying. But one of the things is the Winnipeg Jets have to move to Phoenix in order for his Uncle Billy to take him to a game, right? And then he falls in love with the game there.
Otherwise, it wouldn't happen.
He gets a skating coach. His name is Boris Dorozenko. He's the most innovative skating coach you've ever seen. He doesn't even let the kids play with the puck. Well, he's not his skating coach unless the Iron Curtain falls. And he can leave Ukraine for, of all places, Mexico.
Wow.
To become the head of the Mexican Ice Hockey Federation, where he meets Austin's dad, and he begs him. Brian begs him to come to Arizona and coach his son.
Whoa!
Right. So there's these incredible moments that if one doesn't happen, we might not see Auston Matthews. Now I'll give him all the credit. He loved hockey. He loves being on the ice. He's often the first guy on the ice at practice. He puts the work in, but all these other moments add up to him being the player he is. And then you've got the Leaf things where if the balls fall the other way, like if you remember the McDavid draft, the Leaf ball was on its way up and it got pushed out of the way
by the Edmonton
ball. It's like, well, that Matthews wouldn't be a Leaf. McDavid would be. I'd be right, maybe a different book. But there's all these just weird little things that just happen that make Auston Matthews right now the captain of the Maple Leafs.
Right. And so when, and again, I'm going to skip timeline a little bit here because we want to touch on a few different things. First couple of years with the Leafs, obviously under Mike Babcock, there's the 40-goal rookie campaign. There's the Calder Trophy. There's the, excitement of making the playoffs, I think, in the second last game of the year that they beat Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That was just unbelievable. What type of person? I mean, he went to Zurich, which was a totally different thing to do, made $1 million, which was smart. So he comes into the NHL. He probably made more in Europe than he did in his first 3 years in the NHL, aside from bonuses.
Yeah.
But when he steps on the ice in Toronto, then what type of a player, what type of a guy is he? Because he's a lot different than he is now, I would say, in terms of play.
Well, in terms of player, I mean, he's more mature now. He's bigger, and he was a big guy even then. But the one thing that I like about his outlook is that he wants the big challenge. We were talking off air about players that don't want to be in Toronto. He wants to be in Toronto, right? The pressure, maybe there's pressure. I never quite believe it, but maybe there's too much pressure for some guys. But the guy from Scottsdale, Arizona, he wants it.
And why does he want it?
I think I think it's an American thing. I think American athletes want to perform on the biggest stage, and he recognizes Toronto as that biggest stage. I think Americans have a bigger ego when it comes to their own accomplishments. You see it in baseball, you see it in football, you see it in other sports, you see it in tennis, you see it in golf, and I think you see it American hockey players more so than in the Canadian or the Swedish hockey players. I think Americans are driven that way, and I respect it.
I was gonna say
Helps sell the game.
ego can be a bad word, but that's a compliment.
Ego's a bad word in hockey for some reason. I don't get it myself, but I only mean it in the best positive way.
Right.
I think sometimes a lot of hockey players forget that they're also entertainers. It's like at the end of the day, people are coming in, they're paying tickets to see you and perform, and they're watching you as athletes. But there's also a role you play in this where you're on television, you're in an arena, and people are there to be entertained by your skill and your performance on the ice or whatever field you're playing on.
That's a problem hockey has, right? Because when players start to do that, they get poo-pooed so very quickly, right? So very quickly, it's, you shouldn't be celebrating like that.
Like Subban in Montreal.
You shouldn't be you shouldn't have your own YouTube channel, Willie. You shouldn't wear nice suits, PK Subban, right? Like they have, hockey has that problem of wanting it both ways, of wanting good team guys who are humble and down to earth and outrageous and fun and part of the daily culture and narrative.
What's Auston like?
I couldn't tell you.
You got what we hear is obviously we see what we see in front of the camera, right?
Yeah.
We know that there's a personality in there. Just the odd Instagram post or something like that. You're like, oh yeah, there's this. What's he personally like?
Well, I think he's really quiet. I don't think he's a larger than life personality at home. He's not really a guy that seeks the party life. He's very committed to his body and to his athleticism. There's a true humility with him in a good way. He does a lot of charitable works that go unnoticed. He doesn't want the publicity. I have a whole chapter devoted to that, and I wrestled with whether I should even put it in there because out of respect, he doesn't want that publicity. The things he does for cystic fibrosis and for sick kids hospitals. His Uncle Billy died of cystic fibrosis, and so he's always been sort of drawn to doing more for people with cystic fibrosis, and he does a lot of really good stuff in this city for it. I did put it in there because I think it presents a side of his personality that is beyond, I guess you see him with Justin Bieber at UFC fights and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and that's what we latch onto in an Instagram culture. But there is a more of a depth to him of wanting to at least honor his Uncle Billy.
Some of it was out there. I was visiting sick kids a few years ago, and they're like, yeah, Auston comes in here all the time, like just unannounced. And they told me that, and I think they were taken aback by the look of surprise on my face. Like, I think they just thought that was out there, and everyone knew that. Like, it was just something he always does.
And some of, I contacted a lot of people over for a lot of things, but some of the people that run the programs, they were a little reluctant to talk about it too, because out of respect for what he wants. But right. There's enough families that whose lives he's touched that they were like just effusive in their praise for the things he does behind the scenes.
What a guy.
I want to know the different Austons you've seen under the three different coaches that he's had. So there's the Mike Babcock, Auston Matthews, there's the Sheldon Keefe, Auston Matthews, and now Craig Berube, Auston Matthews. How do they differ? Obviously, you see a maturing adult, but beyond that, interactions with the coach. What was his relationships like with those three?
Well, guys? I think at first with Babs, he was just the respectful young kid who was going to do whatever the coach said. I think he, like the rest of us, got a little tired of the Babs show. With Keefe, I think it was more collegial. Like, I think Keefe was a little overwhelmed by the talent that he had in front of him for his first job. Not just Matthews, but the whole group was outrageously talented and fun to watch. And so I think that's where Auston sort of leans more into becoming a leader under Keefe. And now you can sort of feel like last year as captain, he did things that were very captainy, but he also did things that sort of suggested maybe there's an awkwardness with him taking over the captaincy from Tavares and both still in the room sort of thing. I kind of felt sometimes they didn't want to step on each other's toes a little bit, and you can't have that. You need a leader. And I think this year he's emerged more as a leader. And I think part of that is Craig Berube's simple directness, not just with him, but with everything he approaches. You always feel like you're getting the straight goods from Craig Berube. And I think that's empowered Auston to be speak the straight goods as well.
You were talking about the captaincy and what was that movie? Sliding Doors.
Yeah.
Glad one moment, because this is a conspiracy theory I subscribe to. I think when the Leafs ended up naming John Tavares captain, I believe 100% they were going to do Auston. But then the controversy broke with the stuff in Arizona
where he was mooning a security.
Well, when I was saying he doesn't really seek the drinking life, that was the one thing that stands out as like the one night he got drunk. Look what happened, right?
Right. So I'm curious, like how much do you get?
Well, that's got its own chapter, and I kind of wondered, like, how am I really going to approach this? Like, what do I think of Auston Matthews? A, doing that. B, how he handled it. C, the fallout from it. And I reached out to the woman, and she didn't want any part of it, which is fine. That's I can respect
understandable.
that. So he does this thing. He moons a security guard who's an Iraqi war veteran, which is probably not a really good way to go.
Doesn't tell the team.
That's the part that always puzzled me. He had an agent, right? Judd Moldaver, I think, was his agent at the time. You kind of think that Leaf security team is pretty good at making things go away. And I guess they thought that it would just go away on its own. And it doesn't break until like a week before they're going to name captain. And I'm with you. Like, I'm not sure that it was going to be, we were speculating at the time that Morgan Riley's a logical candidate. John Tavares is a logical candidate, but so is the best player on the team.
Yep.
And I kind of think, I'm with you, that if he was a candidate, that erased any chance he was going to get that captaincy that day. It still might have been Tavares, because that might have been a side deal to we'll come play for a year, we'll make you captain. Like I can get that conspiracy theory too, but that and then when Matthews is sort of apologizing in the days after it's revealed, he does a terrible job of apologizing. He just stumbled over his words. You could tell he was just trying to say anything. Later, when it gets all settled in court, he does a much, much better job of taking ownership of that particular issue. I mean, that's a highly embarrassing thing to have revealed about yourself that you did that. That was like probably as stupid a thing as you could have done, or certainly in the limits of being that stupid. But I thought, like, he had a good year, and he paid the price for it, if you will, from his reputation, and then he brought his reputation back by being a good hockey player and a good human being. And if you remember, at the end of that year, he was nominated for the Lady Byng.
Right.
So he didn't win it. He was nominated for the Lady Byng. So the way I sort of conclude that paragraph, if he might not have been totally forgiven for it, but it certainly was forgotten by a lot of people. So we all moved on from it, I think, fairly quickly, including him and obviously the woman too.
It sounds like it would have been probably just too early anyway. Like if he was a candidate, I mean, that actually
we'll never know.
Shows it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously if he's doing that. Another aspect of all that, so Dubas was GM, and I think he was recently appointed GM. Do they tell Lou if Lou's still there? Do they dare have something like that happen and not tell?
You talk about your sliding door moments.
Yeah.
If Lou Lamoriello had been general manager instead of Kyle Dubas. Like, there's a sliding door moment right there. Everybody's playing for a lot less. Right? And Willie's probably playing in Sweden for a season. Yeah. Right? Like,
the more time passes, the more I'm like, I wonder what happens if that's the door you open instead. Like,
were you able to gain Kyle Dubas's perspective on his tenure as Matthews' boss?
No. So I think this was all kind of driven by the Matthews camp, the agent Judd Moldaver. They didn't really want the book written. They thought it was too early in his career for a book like that. And I can see their point of view. So I never really encroached too much, but the answer I got from Kyle was that it's maybe later, but not right now.
Oh, wow. So he shared those feelings as the Moldaver and camp.
Judd more or less let me know, like, they weren't going to stop me from writing the book. They weren't going to stand in my way. But part of that quid pro quo was I wasn't going to continue to bother that particular camp. I wasn't going to bother the mom and the dad or things like that. I would go further out. And I kind of like that. Like if he's got a more interesting story or a more personal story to tell at the end of his career, great. I'll read it. I'll buy it. Maybe I'll ghostwrite it. I don't know. But this was my take on his life. And I kind of preferred it that way, to be quite honest with you, because it gave me a lot more freedom.
I think those perspectives are important because you can like have a documentary done on somebody, and if they're involved, you know that they're creating it in a way where they want themselves to be shown in this sort of light.
A little bit of whitewashing or whatever, like glossing over of some of the nastier details.
Exactly.
Let's not even talk about this, right?
No, yeah, just in general sense. But when you get that from the third party perspective,
Yeah.
you get this perspective that I think is the most honest and how things played out.
And I also think that, so the book starts with the 4-goal game in Ottawa, basically. How did he get here?
Awesome.
And I think his comments the night he scored 4 goals are more interesting than his comments 10 years later talking about scoring 4 goals in a game, right? I think,
Right.
it's more honest. Here's what he said that night or the
Yeah.
next day, or here's what people were saying right then.
Mhm.
And I think that brings you into the moment more so than, oh yeah, I remember that game. Yeah, I got 4 goals, right?
How do you choose the cutoff for a story that's still being written, right? Like he's still playing,
Well,
obviously.
that was an interesting one. As I'm writing, going, what is my ending?
Yeah.
How do I end this, right? Because I'd written most of it. I now forget. So it was August when he got the captaincy from.
Oh boy.
Like,
I think it was
2 August
2024.
Yeah.
2 August ago,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm coming to the kind of the end of the book, and I know I might have to write the next season, but I don't have an obvious ending. And when did he sign his extension?
2 years ago?
So was he already captain?
Ooh.
When he signed the extension, I don't believe so.
I
That
think
was 2 years ago.
I think both things happened around the same time.
Both things happened
Yeah.
around the same time, right? At any rate, I was at a cottage. I was on vacation, and I get the note, Austin's going to be named captain tomorrow. And I went, I got my ending. I raced down to Toronto, and I took in that thing, Austin as captain of the Maple Leafs. And that was kind of the ending, and then had to write his year as a captain.
Right.
So he signed August 23, 2023.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then a year later, I think he was named
Right.
captain.
It was 24.
That's why
captain.
Simon and Schuster would commit to the book, because they knew he would be a Leaf when it was released.
Okay.
Right.
It's
So
such
at
an
that
interesting
point,
yeah.
the contract extension was the end, and anything that happened after. But then when he became captain, it gave me like a finish.
Almost like an epilogue kind of.
Yeah.
Because he's going to have his name up in the rafters. He's going to have the all-time leading goal scorer for Toronto Maple Leaf in history. But it's funny. You gotta cut it off somewhere, because you just keep going with this.
And something interesting happens over the next. If the rest of his time with Leafs, there's another chapter or a rewrite or something like that.
God, I hope something interesting happens.
A Stanley Cup would have been a good finish.
What's that again?
Kevin,
An old wooden ship.
the book, by the way, is called Auston Matthews, A Life in Hockey by Kevin McGran. You can find that anywhere you get your books. But Kevin, I want to switch gears here
All right.
and talk to you a little bit about playing here. Because you mentioned you think part of the identity of Auston being an American, Americans are raised to be a little bit more brash. I know that specifically, like my mom's an American, and the way that she would talk to me on how to handle situations is much different than my Canadian dad or my friends' Canadian parents. And it doesn't sound like it's a huge deal, but Americans are not afraid to put themselves out there. That sort of seems to be part of the culture. And I'm curious about playing here and embracing that spotlight versus so many people who don't. Now, we know the Mitch Marner stuff it's pretty obvious. He didn't like the media. He didn't like the way he was covered. I don't even know if it was him so much as it was the people around him that certainly seemed to have a problem with it. But I think about a guy like Ryan O'Reilly, who was traded, scored a couple of big goals here in the playoffs from what I can recall, was a valuable piece of the team. They wanted to keep him. They offered him a comparable deal to Nashville. Obviously, they got the tax-free stuff down there. But he made pretty clear on the way out that A, they needed to de-emphasize the core four. He said that. And B, the media was too much for him too, and he grew up a Leaf fan. You guys don't seem to me, and that's why we make the joke, like the scariest group of people. Like if I were to put you and Mark Masters and Terry Koshan and Jesse sitting at the end of the desk there, and Chris Johnson and Sean McKenzie, whoever else is going to show up at Leafs practice and training camp, whatever, James Myrtle, what is the deal? Like I don't understand where this fear and this animosity comes from. Like I understand the occasional, like Steve Simmons will come out and shiv some guys. That's Steve. That's his point of view.
He's not the only Steve that does that.
That 100%. Yeah, there's a few. It's a Steve thing. It must be in Toronto.
Maybe.
But what is it, Kevin? Why is the spotlight so bright here for so many players? What's the deal?
I think it's the lamest excuse on the planet. And I don't know where exactly it comes from. I don't really think it comes from the players or their agents at all.
Okay.
I think it's almost fan induced. I remember I criticized Willie one time on Twitter in a rookie camp or something like that, right? Because I just didn't think the effort was there, and I thought a rookie should be really showing effort, right?
Of course.
And we can still criticize him for that to this day.
I got all kinds of hate. This is why we can't have good things in Toronto. It's like, really? Like, I just like, as we were saying off the air, like it never seems to bother, the Yankees all those years play in the biggest market. They're the Dodgers right now. Mm-hmm. It never bothered Man United to be in the biggest basketball.
Golden State.
I said basketball for Man United.
Yeah.
But it doesn't bother players at Wimbledon when they're, it doesn't bother them at the U.S. Open. It doesn't
Ryder
bother
Cup.
them at the Masters.
This list is getting pretty long.
Right?
Like,
why should it bother a Canadian hockey player? I don't know. Like it seems like maybe we're weaker. We're not as mentally, we don't have the mental fortitude, or maybe that's what it tells me. If you think this guy left because of the media, then he doesn't have.
Well, I mean, they've made it clear that's why Marner left. I mean, that's part of it anyway.
Right.
I mean, that
I find it amazing.
There's even the reports, though, that he's found it so refreshing that there's so much less media scrutiny.
I have more respect for any player that wants to play in the big market and succeed than any player that goes to a market to be anonymous and succeed.
But then where does any Canadian hockey star want to end up and shine the brightest? The Olympics.
Yeah.
Right? And no one covers those. Like, so I can't understand it. And no one was looking at the Torino team, which is like a notably really disappointing Canadian Olympic team, and they go, well, it was just the media in Torino.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think you're going down you're barking up the right tree with the fan stuff and how the players are reacting to that, because a lot of what I think Marner talks about when he's upset with the media is fan driven. It's the people who are harassing him in ways that the media would never do, because there's a lot of respect between adults and professionals who are in that room asking him respectful questions. And when he's complaining about the media scrutiny, what he's really talking about is the unhinged fan perspective,
Yeah.
And the players always couch it as the media doing those things when it's just the outliers.
The
of the
players
fanatics.
say it. Like Mitch would say it, the media, and it's like, us? Like, I don't remember saying anything like that.
Mark Masters didn't harass you at your home,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a perplexing one to me. I think it's a lame narrative.
Mm-hmm.
I think in Martin's a little bit different, because I think he had so many, you alluded to this, so many people around him telling him what people were saying about him. Whereas, the guy from Stockholm has his brother. Who's not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
The guy from
Calgary.
Calgary, Alberta's very own, yeah.
the guy from Scottsdale, his mom and dad might be in town, but that's about. They don't have a whole bunch of people like,
Right.
oh, here's what.
that grew up.
Can you
here.
believe that they said this about you?
Yeah. But the guys from Toronto do have, or the guys from Southern Ontario, in Ryan O'Reilly's case, probably do have more people feeding them the bad stuff.
What's the vibe around the team now versus last year to you?
I kind of feel like they. Well, I hate to use this because it's a cliche, but they're like just trying to figure themselves out. Really,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't think they know what their identity is. I know what they want their identity to be. I don't think that they are there yet. I think some of the new players are still kind of having trouble. I think there's a chemistry issue on pretty much every line, and I think they will figure it out. Like I have a certain amount of faith that this fourth line will be the best fourth line we've ever seen.
It might be already, honestly.
Well,
They just need Watt to win some faceoffs, right?
yeah.
They're not trusting him to do that, right?
Yeah, the defensive specialist can't be trusted in his own zone. So there are some issues surrounding that. I was lamenting last night. They were. Remember the days when David Kampf would take the opening faceoff?
Oh, God.
I
In
remember
3-on-3.
You stuck a rage about that, Kevin.
It's funny with the two teams.
Because he would
playing-
win the faceoff.
Yeah.
With the two teams last night, there's so much turnover on both of those organizations over the last year, especially with the Rangers, new head coach, new bunch of players. And it takes a while to find yourself, and it takes a while to get to play a team game. So I feel like we need to give the Leafs a little space to find out who they're truly going to be in this next season, this current season.
What I found really, really fascinating is like through most of training camp, they kind of look like, okay, some guys got to get up to speed, but Berube was so happy with Scott Laughton.
Yeah.
Just incredibly happy with Scott Laughton. And I like Scott Laughton. I think and then he gets injured. And because the fourth line center gets injured, all the lines have to change.
Yeah, we
get
talked
that either.
about that so much.
I do not get it.
The whole line
Everybody
in a blender.
Our entire plan has gone out the window.
Do not get it. Not at all.
Well, it's like, you know what? Man, we better go back to Domi Robertson. And I don't think that, listen, I know that they can eat, the Buffalo Sabres alive. No disrespect to Buffalo, but they did kick their ass last year. The Preds, whatever. But that is not a line that you're like prepping for bigger things. That's not a line in the playoffs you're going to because you want to, right? And
duct tape.
And they've looked good.
Yeah.
But that is not like, we're not rolling those out against the Senators or the Panthers last year. So where it can be helped. So I'm wondering what that is too. Is Scott Laughton that pivotal to the team?
Well, he had good chemistry with Steve Lorentz, who's not even playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Easton Cowan was fitting in there in a smaller role where he could just sort of energize the line. So that's really their fourth line.
That line seems like ancient history.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. That was
We'll
like
never
2 weeks
see it.
ago.
Yeah.
We got, 2 preseason games?
And they were good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the removal of Scott Laughton just threw them in, like, all the preparation they had done was thrown out the window. They had to re-prepare.
Yeah.
And I mean, they'll figure it out, right? Like Nicholas Raw is an NHL player. You can see when he's playing that he can do a lot more than just play defense. Like there's
He's a
some
good player.
moves he's got, right?
I like him.
Yeah. But at the same time, they have to mesh with each other. And it does to me feel like when I saw Domi between McMahon and Robertson, and they just flipped them. Robertson was now the left winger and McMahon was the right winger for some reason. I thought that's the DNA change that
You said that
Kevin
exactly.
listens to the damn
actually.
show.
You
Yeah,
said
no,
that.
you've been to the damn show.
Kevin's quoting the show back to us now.
It's good to hear you say these things, because it means like, okay, we're on the right line to what we're talking about, because you see the exact same stuff. And I was wondering, what's your read on Berube? Because I found he doesn't give you much. He'll tell you very directly what he's thinking, but he doesn't give you much in those words. Like when you ask him about like, hey, why did you make the decision? He'll be like, because I want a north-south game. I want somebody who's going to go chase the puck. But there isn't much details behind those words. What's your read on him?
Well, right now he's protecting Easton Cowan. Like if you were there last night and I asked, why did you sort of not play him in the third period? And his answer was, I was just looking for some line combinations. And in my head, I'm going, line combinations without Easton Cowan.
Right.
Yeah. How many giveaways last night?
5.
5 giveaways last
Yeah.
night.
Oh,
Easton Cowan.
Yeah.
That's bad.
So, I mean, he's like, and he should protect Easton Cowan. Easton Cowan's going to be a big part of this team's future. And if he's having a bad game, well, you don't want to shake the confidence. You want to bring him out. You also don't want to make him the focus of the conversation. So I think Craig, I think the world of him. I think he's really, really smart. He may not come across as like the most erudite man in the world, but he knows everything that's happening on the ice.
Yeah.
And he knows how he wants his team to play, and he knows the ways he can make them play. And when they fall flat,
It's frustrating because I feel like when he's talking, he knows more than what he's giving everybody.
Oh, he does. You can see him stop.
Yes.
Right?
And I'm like, just say the thing, please. But he's such a great hockey mind. And he's never giving it up to the media because he knows what he should say and what he shouldn't and the details of the finer things of the game. So he keeps it so simple. It's genius.
I have a little anecdote about him. So a road trip last year, early in the season. Like it was like November, the Florida Tampa one. He did his scrum and then he left, and I followed him out, and I didn't mean to follow him out because Willie was coming in after, and I'd forgotten, and I'd followed him out, and he turned to the PR guy, and he said, "Oh, I think I did pretty good on that one." So he's sort of aware of what his relationship is and what a relationship should be and how he should come across.
Yeah.
And I really do. I think he's the right coach for this group. I think I don't really particularly love Berube hockey. I can't imagine 82 games of slogging it through the mud, but I think they'll be the better team at the end of it all. And they've now got like a full season behind him of his expectations and their expectations of him. And I think they're all going to be a little bit more on the same page. Not that I don't think they were disconnected last year, but this year even more so.
Well, it's second year of a coach, right? The systems are a little bit more ingrained. I have one more question. I'm sure the guys do too, but I have one more question before we wrap this thing. And so what was your first season covering the Maple Leafs?
First full season was 2006-07.
2006-07.
But I've done it on and off for years, decades before that. So I want to know, when was the last time the Leafs had a power forward option like Matthew Knies in the lineup? Well, I guess Wendell was pretty, and Dave Andrzejczyk was a pretty. I think Dave Andrzejczyk would probably be the best power forward they've ever had.
That's pretty damn far back, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Gary Roberts fall into that category at all? Or?
Yeah, I suppose not. I think Knies at 22 is better than Roberts at 35.
Yeah.
Right?
Because Gary was getting on.
JVR was a pretty good power forward. Like, he was pretty hard to move in front of the net, and he could skate. Like, there are similarities. I think Knies will eclipse JVR, but JVR was pretty good in that position.
Okay.
That's top 100 Maple Leaf of all time, JVR.
No, yes, as he gave up 21 for 25.
That's right. That's right.
A big reveal that night.
That was, man, I forgot he wore 25.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So next year is going to be 20 years full season.
So this would be my 20th season.
This is your 20th
This
season.
would be the 20th season.
Yeah.
So then your perspective on like the organization as a whole is so unique because like you're in there.
I go back. I covered Harold Ballard.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Lance did it more on Lance Hornby of the Sun did it more on a daily basis, but I was there from I started in sports in '89.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right? So I moved around a bunch of sports.
I'd love to have just
I was
you
there.
and Lance
I was there
on.
for Gretzky's greatest game. I covered that one.
Game, what was that?
Game 7 in '93.
Oh
my gosh.
I would love to have you and Lance on at some point and just have a Harold Ballard episode and all Ballard stories, but continue. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, you in the room all the time, in the organization, in those buildings, watching everything shift around you, but you're kind of the constant, going through it. How do you feel about like the Maple Leafs as a crest? Like, has it been like something where it's like a love-hate relationship? Is it kind of a standoff because that's my job? Are you still passionate about it? Where do you sit right now?
Well, that's a really interesting question. I don't think I've really thought about the crest as the crest. I mean, I know it matters to players, so I will ask that question of them. How did it feel to put that jersey on for the first time? I'm not. I mean, I when I started in sports, I had a veterans hockey writer come over to me and said, "You're not a fan anymore. You're a fan. You're not going to do this job." And so I've stopped being a fan in that very instant because I wanted to do this job. So I don't have an affinity necessarily, but I do get why the players do. Like, I get the history of the team. I grew up a fan. So I get all of these things. My brother was a Canadiens fan. So I kind of, that little rivalry is always going to be the rivalry. But the way the team has changed over the years, I mean, they were a joke of an organization for a long, long time. From Harold Ballard and Punch Imlach kind of ruining a very good late 70s team to an 80s team that would punch above its weight in the playoffs, right? Oh, them in Detroit or them in Minnesota would be who's going to get 59 points, who's going to get 60, and then upset the Chicago Blackhawks and go on a run, right? Like they would punch above their weight in the playoffs, but they were like terrible hockey. And then like the Cliff Fletcher era really changed the organization into being professional. Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment comes along shortly after that and turns it Well, it was always a money-making venture. It was always the Carlton Street cash box, right? So, that was Ballard's legacy, that he could put a terrible team out there and it would always sell out.
Yeah.
And so we didn't have to pay for players, so we could let them go to the other teams in the WHA and things like that. The worm turns for me with Tim Lewicki, and he brings in Brendan Shanahan, and Shanahan brings in Lou Lamoriello. And up to that point, from a storytelling perspective, from a journalist perspective, you could call anyone in that organization and have them tell you things.
Wow.
Just tell you anything, right? And you could write it or just keep it for later or whatever, just anyone in the organization. But from the moment Lou takes over, silence. I mean, there was a point, I kid you not, I've been meaning to ask Kyle about this. So you could not, Kyle was assistant general manager at the time, he could not speak to you. They had to file reports to Lou if any media person ever
approached Kyle.
And one day
Yes.
I bumped into Kyle
I have
at
an
the
anecdote.
corner of Yonge and Adelaide at a red light. I said hi. Light turned green. Kyle literally ran across the street.
Lou had him scared.
Wow.
Justin Fisher and I, our social lead, back in the day, we had a radio show at U of T Scarborough. And when Dubas was named, I think it was GM of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, we had him on. And he's only like a handful of years older than us, 3, 4. So it was really cool having this 25-year-old on. He was 25 when he was named GM, and we were like 21, something like that. I'd run into him at a few games, and we had spoken. Like we were acquaintances at very least. Like we sort of knew each other. During that little blip of time that you might remember where I was covering the Marlies and I was sort of becoming a little bit more regular, it's the closest I've ever been to like being on a beat. The Marlies signed someone out of the WHL. I think it was someone named like Tyler Wong or what. And it's the kind of story you would only give a damn about if you were a hardcore Marlies fan or covering the Marlies looking for an excuse to write about the Marlies. I go to Leafs practice. I wait for Kyle. He comes out, does not make eye contact, and just goes, "What do you want to know?" I ask him a few questions, and he just pointed to the press release for this player. Hardcore hockey fans are listening to the show. No one remembers who this person is. and he just pointed to the press release, and then he just turned around and walked away. And that was it. Lou Lamoriello had that guy scared shitless.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing.
And then they kept it up after Lou left.
Yeah.
Right? Like they kept that sort of structure of the coach speaks for the team, general manager speaks once a year, twice a year, whatever. And I always thought that was it made everything he said amplify more because
Absolutely.
Right.
so little. And now with Keith Pelly running the organization, I kind of feel like they're peeling that back a little bit. Like Tree's spoken 3 or 4 or 5 times already. Yeah. And when he speaks more, it's just more casual. It's just
interviewed him last week.
There you go, right?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just talking to the scrums. We'll just say, Tree's going to talk. All right, we'll go talk to him. I really didn't have anything to ask him, but I'll gladly listen.
Yeah.
You know? So I think they're peeling back the layers, trying to be a little bit more media friendly. I don't know if you had noticed this yet on television. It's something to watch for. Fewer players at the backdrop, more players at their stalls.
Yeah, notice that.
And I think that's just a subtle sort of, we're just guys. We're just, we're not special. Like we're not to be exalted.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay. This is great. So any other questions, guys? Or
Yeah. No, I just want to say, like, as somebody who loves sports and sports media and work in this business, I appreciate people like you because like the crest changes, the ownership changes, literally change buildings, but like the sports media people who are there for 30 plus years, like you're a constant and you're going to tell the best stories about these teams because everything's changing around you, but you're kind of the through line through the whole thing.
You're the mountain. It snows, it rains, but you're still there.
When you write a book like this about Auston, like it's going to be a treat for every hockey fan who cares about this team, and because you know this team inside and out because you've been there through the whole thing. So thank you for writing this book. It's going to be a good read.
Well, thank you for the kind words, and thank you all for having me on here. This was a lot of fun.
Well, it's a
great way to spend a day.
About time we had you on. Thanks, Kevin.
All right, cheers, everybody.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.